Hi guys, welcome back to Rumi's Life, or welcome if you're new, and today I'll be telling you guys about how easy budgeting is and some little tricks and tips I found on the way. So essentially, budgeting is just looking at your income and comparing it with your expenditures, like how much are you spending. And the big idea is that you just want to make sure what you're spending is less than your income. Woo! Mind blown, am I right? So it's not as hard as what people think it is. I think one of the reasons why a lot of people are hesitant on making a budget is because they think they can't spend their money on anything fun, but that's not true at all. You can budget for fun, you can budget for entertainment, and so this is a little tricks and trick. Let's just dive right into it, shall we? Okay, so number one and the most important part is that you have to keep track of what you're spending money on. For example, you can just use your bank account if you only have one account, or honestly, there's a lot of free apps available to you. Just look up like budgeting on Apple Store and you can find so many free apps just from the comfort of your own phone. And a lot of these apps just syncs with your bank accounts or your credit card, so it just shows you with what you're spending money on. So all you have to do is just set an amount, set like a little goal, set a limit for each category, and I'll just do all the budgeting for you. It's so easy. I know a lot of people like Mint and also like the EveryDollar app, because like the EveryDollar app you can just, or like Mint, they both allow you to just put in your expected or like your goal, your budget for each category. I did hear that you have to pay money for the EveryDollar app in order to get the Plus account, which is the one that like syncs in the bank account information. So I recommend Mint because it's a lot cheaper, and you know we're all broke college students here. I understand, I feel you. But you can also always use Excel or Google Sheet, and on Google Sheets there's a template called monthly budget, and as long as you put in your expected, you can use it for the whole year, for goodness sake, or whole semester. But it makes a little graph for you, just like Mint and EveryDollar app does. So it's so nice. The first step is just like find a program and just dive right in. You can imagine budgeting all you want, but just the first step is just putting it into action. So what I personally do is I just use Excel and just type all my information in, make my own categories, and just go right in. And that's because I used to use Mint. I was a die-hard Mint fan. I loved Mint so much until I got just random expenses. For example, not random expenses, more like I would transfer money from one account to another account, or I would invest in different stuff, put money into a retirement account. And when I do stuff like that, it shows it as an expense. So I started making weird graphs that were not accurate representation of my actual spending. Also, I just bought a $200 Target gift card for $180 because they were having a 10% discount, and because I knew that Target was a 5% rotating category for that month, I actually ended up getting 5% back. And because it's my 1 year, I get a whole year match. So technically, I saved 28% on that $200 gift card. But anyways, I still wanted that to be an accurate reflection of what I spent that month. So then I was like, okay, well, I do weird stuff like this where I try to like save money and it ends up not showing up on my Mint. So it was just too much time to just fix everything, because you can modify it yourself. But I just thought, okay, well, if I have to modify everything, then it's just better for me to just make my own. So that's what I did. And if you want to see a little template for my budget, just ask in the comments below. But your budget is going to look a lot different than your neighbors or your friends, because what your needs are a lot different than what your friends' needs are. For example, like I specifically have a little column for coffee, because I drink, if I'm not careful, I can spend a lot of money at a coffee house or Starbucks or just anywhere, like gas stations. So I just have a little column just for coffee. And even if I'm at a gas station, I would just make sure to buy coffee on a different account than one of my other stuff. And also I travel for my work, so I spend a lot more on gas than my roommate, for example. So you just have to make sure your budget aligns with your goals. So you can't just use a random template off of the internet. You just have to sit down and think it through. But one big thing is you have to always change your budget. You can't just make a budget and keep it the same for your whole lifetime, because your life is always changing, your needs are always evolving, your lifestyle is always changing. So you have to make sure your budget reflects what your lifestyle is right now. So I actually evaluate my budget every month, which is a little excessive, so you don't have to do it every month. I'm not saying you have to do it every month, but I think evaluating it every 6 months or every semester is a really good timeline in order to make sure your budget is still a pretty good fit for your lifestyle. But I would love to go over some of your guys' budget. So if you want to, come sit down and talk with me about it, you can shoot me an email right here at rumieslife812@gmail.com. I also want to, review people's expenses because, that's so fun. A lot of times people can cut out their groceries or they're eating out because, you don't really need to eat out as much as you think you do, which is hard. I know, because I definitely eat out whenever my friends ask me, but I've been trying to cook at home, invite my friends to come over and cook at home, which has been really fun. And this is such a crucial time in developing your good habits, good spending habits, and just knowing how to budget, because maybe if you're a freshman, you live in a dorm, you don't have to pay for groceries just yet, or you don't have that much transportation fees, but just managing your entertainment is so important. Or maybe you don't live in an apartment, so you don't have rent, or your parents help you pay for rent. So right now, a lot of the financial burden is alleviated. So you have to really take this opportunity right now to take control of your finances, so you're set up for your future, and you can be one of those everyday millionaires. But anyways, thank you guys so much for making it this far into the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Bye!